Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about New England, the Plymouth Colony Pilgrims, and this happened around the year 1620. Now they were called pilgrims because a pilgrim is one who makes a religious journey. So they were, remember, escaping religious persecution in England. Remember, the Roman Catholic Church was telling them that they had to do all these things in order to receive their salvation, but they knew that that was not true and they wanted to separate from the church. So they were also called separatists. Okay, so let's begin. In contrast to Jamestown, a business venture, Plymouth Colony was founded for religious reasons. September 6, 1620, the Mayflower sailed from Plymouth, England, bringing 102 Englishmen, women, and children to found Plymouth Colony in Massachusetts, the second permanent English colony in America. About 35 Puritan pilgrims from Scrooby, England, who after a decade in Holland were seeking religious freedom in America. These Puritans are called pilgrims because of their religious journey. They also are called separatists because they were separating from the Anglican Church. The rest on board were Anglicans, including John Alden, Priscilla Mullins, and Miles Standish, seeking economic opportunity. Financed by 70 London merchants, the group had obtained a land grant from Virginia Company, but a storm blew them off course to Massachusetts instead of Northern Virginia. They anchored off Cape Cod on November 10, 1620. Luckily, we have a map of this area. It was drawn by Captain John Smith in 1614 when he explored the coast from Maine to Cape Cod. He named the whole area New England, and that Indian village across the bay, Plymouth. Plymouth was a wide harbor. Let's go explore it. A problem arose. The Pilgrims were outside the Virginia Company's jurisdiction, so they had no government or laws. And the Anglicans, upset at missing Virginia, threatened mutiny against the Pilgrims. Hey, we're beyond reach of the law. Great, we can throw big parties and so on. Have you taken a serious look at that wilderness? So still aboard ship, Pilgrim leaders and William Bradford and William Brewster invited all 41 males, Puritan Pilgrims and Anglicans alike, regardless of religious and class differences, to sign the Mayflower Compact. This is an agreement to be self-governing. All men can enact laws and elect officials, and everyone will abide by the will of the majority. Sounds fair to me. Here is the Mayflower Compact. In the name of God, amen. We whose names are underwritten, the loyal subjects of our dread sovereign Lord King James, having undertaken for ye glory of God, and advancement of ye Christian faith, and ye honor of our king and country, a voyage to plant ye first colony in ye northern parts of Virginia, do, solemnly and mutually in ye presence of God, and one of another, covenant and combine ourselves together into a civil body politic, to enact, constitute, and frame such just and equal laws, ordinances, acts, constitutions, and offices for ye general good of ye colony, unto which we all promise due submission and obedience. The Pilgrims signed first and waited. Would the Anglicans sign or mutiny? Finally, Captain Miles Standish, in charge of military defense, led the other Anglicans in signing. Sure, I'll sign it. This may become a historic document. You're quite right, Captain Standish. America's first adventure in democracy had begun. The men immediately elected John Carver governor, the first democratically elected governor in America. The mystery of Plymouth. The Pilgrims went ashore to explore Plymouth and found the Indian village deserted. Where were the Indians? Only their drying cornfields remained. We might as well settle here and help ourselves to these crops. Looks like it's meant to be. On Christmas Day, 1620, the Pilgrims began building their settlement of rude huts. Sleet and snow and disease took their toll. About half the group died that winter. I don't know about you, Prudence, but I'm getting discouraged. Me too. Then on March 16th, 1621, an astonishing event occurred that helped save the colony. Samoset, an Abenaki Indian from Maine, strolled into Plymouth and welcomed the settlers in English. "Hello, Englishmen." "Huh?" They thought he'd be talking Algonquin or something. Samoset had learned English while sailing the Maine coast with English captains. He now revealed the mystery of Plymouth. Plymouth was once an Indian village of about 2,000 named Pawtuxet. In 1617, a great plague, perhaps smallpox, killed all of its people, except my friend Squanto, who earlier had been captured by an English sea captain and sold as a slave in Spain. He escaped and went to England, where he learned English. In 1619, he sailed back to America, only to find his people gone and his village, Pawtuxet, deserted. He was grief-stricken. Squanto now lives with Chief Maswet and the Wampanoag Indians in Narragansett Bay. I will bring him to see you. Millions of Native Americans were killed by European diseases brought on by the white man, for which they had no immunity. When Squanto arrived, he befriended the Pilgrims. He taught them survival skills such as how to plant corn, a New World plant, and to trap game. He lived with them and even adopted their religion. Here's my new cassette on how to farm in America. They were amazed that Squanto had lived in their homeland and spoke English. He became their interpreter and arranged a peace treaty with the Wampanoag Indians. Thanksgiving. The New England autumn brought a good 210-acre corn harvest, so the grateful Pilgrims, about 60 by then, set aside a day for feasting and giving thanks to God. They invited the Wampanoags, and Chief Maswet arrived with 90 hungry Indians. In 1863, President Abraham Lincoln proclaimed Thanksgiving a national holiday. Today, we still honor the Pilgrims for their faith and courage, and for nurturing the American tree of liberty with their democratic practices. And as one small candle may light 1,000, so the light here kindled hath shone unto many, ye to our whole nation. Governor William Bradford. Tree of Liberty. Yes, someone got it off to a fine start long ago. What a neat tree. You can read firsthand about the Pilgrims in History of Plymouth Plantation, written in 1647 by William Bradford, governor of Plymouth Colony for 30 years.